My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Titane. And this movie, according to IMDb, is about following a series of unexplained crimes. A father is reunited with his son who has been missing for 10 years. That is not this movie. People who read that plot then start watching this movie are in for quite the surprise. This is a movie that many are claiming is a masterpiece. They're calling it wild and shocking and unlike anything else. And then there's lots of people who really hate this movie. But where do I land on it? I land in the middle, leaning slightly towards the more positive side. This is a very ambitious movie. It is unlike anything else. And it's not a movie for everyone. Like, I'll tell you right now, this movie is graphic in a lot of ways. It is hard all for a reason. So there's your warning before you go into this movie, because it goes into, it's something alright. The main performance by Agatha Rossilia is fine. She's not bad in the movie, but she doesn't add a lot to it either. The standout performance to me was Vincent Linden. I thought he was really great in this movie. He added some nice sweetness to it when needed. And this movie, like I said, is very brutal. Like, there are some moments in this movie that really grossed me out. Like, on a body horror level, this movie is as effective as I've seen in quite some time. Like, it is really gross in moments, so it's definitely not for everyone in that regard. And the direction by Julia Ducournau, I definitely mispronounced that name. I am so bad at pronouncing names, but she does a really good job directing this movie. Whether it's the sound, the visuals, this is a very well-made, well-put-together movie. But where the movie loses me a bit is on its story, because I actually didn't find the story to be all that interesting. We've seen stories like this done plenty of times before, and what really allows this movie to stand out is the shock factor. But if you do look at these characters at a surface level, there isn't lots new going on. It's about two broken people connecting and finding some sort of meaning in each other. And I'm not saying that's a bad storyline, I'm just saying it's a storyline we've seen plenty of times. But where this movie does win me back over is in its ideas and its symbolism, because there's a lot going on in this movie. This is one of those movies that you could really break down and just look for the deeper meaning in almost everything. And it's a movie I like thinking about more than I actually liked watching it. Because the truth is, I was bored for some of this movie, but when I look back on the movie, I'm just like, oh, okay, so that means that, and that means that. Like, I guess I'll go into a bit spoiler territory now, but I have a few different takes on this movie. The first one is that the metal plate represents trauma, because the main character gets into this car accident a long time ago, and how it stays with her. It also shows how it messes them up, and how they act, and who they love. Specifically who they love. If you've seen the movie, you know. And it also shows that no matter how hard she tries, she can't hide it, and how you pass that trauma on to your kids eventually. And I think the movie does an interesting job looking at it from that point of view. There is another way of looking at this movie where the metal plate represents using your humanity, and this movie is about the main character finding her humanity again. And just the things that she's attracted to in people, there's definitely a case for that take on this movie. There is another take on this movie where you could also look into it as a breakdown of gender and all that. And if you know me, you know that I despise that shit. And it's definitely present in this movie, but it's subtext. It's not like in your face, but it's definitely present. But I did end up liking this movie. The first act is definitely the best, because it did get me more engaged, and then it does go into more cliche territory, but there's still plenty of things throughout to keep your attention. There's lots of shocking, brutal moments. There's lots of symbolism. It's not a movie I see myself going back to time and time again, but it is a movie I understand the love for. It is a movie that I did end up liking, so I'm going to go ahead and give Titane a 5.5 out of 10. Okay, what did you think of Titane? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon. And Gavin